everyone, it's Erica. Thanks so much for being here. I'm already super proud of you for making it to your mat. Today we're doing a trauma-sensitive stretch sequence. And how this is different than just a regular stretch routine is I'm not here just to tell you what to do, how to do it. We're in this together, really focusing on building our awareness of what's happening externally, what we're feeling, what we're noticing, what we're engaging with outside of our body, and then also internally as far as what we're feeling when we're moving, any sensations, how our muscles are moving, things like that. Now today we're going to focus on really finding a strong center. So we'll be doing a lot of exercises that are full body engagement, and then holding some postures that are more restful. And so we'll be moving back and forth in a way that will help us find that middle ground. Because when you're healing your mind and your body, it's not always just about being in that rest state all the time or being in your parasympathetic state, as they say, all the time. We don't want to live there. We want to find that strong center. So that's what we're doing today. You just need a mat, and we're going to start off in a big hip stretch. So I'm going to bring my toes together, knees apart, and then just start to fold down, hands reach out in front of you, forehead to the mat, and we'll be here for a few minutes. If this starts to get uncomfortable on your hips, you can always just lay on your belly or find a comfortable seat, or maybe even throw some pillows like underneath, like kind of in between your legs here, your shin, your calf and your thigh. That might give you some more support. So once you get comfortable, and what's comfortable after 1 minute may not be comfortable after 2. So just move in a way that feels natural for you, and we'll just find some rest here. And let's start to bring our attention to our feet. Usually when we start a body scan, you might be laying down or standing or sitting, and it's a little more linear, but when you're folded up like this, it's kind of makes it tricky. So we'll start just noticing the tops of your feet pressing into the mat. Your hips might be pressed into your heels or hovering right above. And then noticing where your shins are pressing into the mat, your knees. You might feel some asymmetry, like your body is more on one side than the other pressing down. Like I feel my left side pressing down more than my right for some reason. Then we'll bring that awareness up to your hips, just feeling where that hip is creased and hinged forward. And then noticing how your lower spine is rounded, your whole back slightly rounded or arched, following each vertebrae as it moves up towards where your ribs are, your shoulder blades. Even your shoulders, you might find one shoulder higher than the other, reaching towards your ears. And then noticing where your elbows, your forearms, your hands are rested on the mat. You might even invite some small movements into the hands as you tap the mat. Then bringing that awareness back up the arms towards your neck. That's slightly arched forward. And then feeling your forehead pressing into the mat. Maybe even your nose. Mine is kind of flattened here. And then we start to notice our breathing. Whenever I'm breathing in this stretch, it always feels like, to me, like I'm breathing into a hug or breathing into a bubble. Maybe you breathe a little less deeply because you're hinged forward, but it's in this like protective mode. So I just invite you to take an inhale, feel your belly drop towards the mat, then exhale as it comes back up. And continuing those slow breaths. Maybe there's a word or a phrase you would use to describe your breath, the texture of it, if it's open or closed or short, supported and protected, however you want to describe it. And then from here, we'll kind of keep that awareness on your breathing, and I invite you to move your hands. I'm going to bring my hands back behind my head, kind of like in a little prayer posture, or like I'm giving myself a high five, as like my wrists are resting on the back of my head. I'm going to take this opportunity to just press my fingertips into each other, then pressing my thumb, first finger, middle finger, fourth finger, pinky finger. My palms don't all the way touch. Just don't have that flexibility quite. And even notice how it feels different on your elbows digging into the mat. And then you can keep your hands there or try to give more grounding to the back of your head. I'm going to bring my palms flat down onto like my neck and the back of my head here. You might add some pressure, feeling your forehead sink down into the mat. Notice how the texture of your hair feels. Maybe giving a small massage to the back of your head. The muscles we have on our skull that are thin and flat, but can carry some tension there. So just give some extra love to the back of your head. Noticing kind of the bumps that we have, the small divots. No one's skull is perfect, that's for sure. And then we'll slowly release, bring your hands back down to the mat, and start to pull your head off of the mat. Give yourself lots of time, lots of space, going slow, moving into tabletop. So I'm giving all my grounding down into the palms of my hand. I've got lots of space between my fingertips, kind of shaking my hair out of my face. You might need to do the same. Now pressing into my knees and the tops of my feet. Option to curl your toes under if that gives you more stability. And we'll just find some organic movement here. After being in that hip stretch for a while, you may just want to rock side to side. You may want to find some circles. You can keep your circles small. You can make them super dynamic. Even kind of circling out those wrists. Hearing some snap, crackle, pops here, and then taking to the opposite side if you're doing your circles. I'm just feeling like the weight of my body change, the pressure on my palms as I go in a circle, kind of creating a circle with my palms on the mat. And then we'll find some stillness here. And we'll do a few simple stretches for the spine as well. And I'm going to drop my belly, pull my heart forward, gaze comes up. I'm going to tuck my toes under. You can keep your feet flat or tuck them under as you drop that belly, hinge forward, and keep hinging forward until you feel like you can't hinge anymore, or you can stay more in that tabletop. Then I'm going to start to hinge back. I'm going to release my feet and start to round my back, drop my head, let gravity pull my head down. My hips start to move towards my heels. I feel more pressure at the base of my palm than I did before. And now I'm going to start to move forward, drop the belly, pull the heart forward, gaze forward. I'm going to tuck my toes under and start to hinge forward, feeling more pressure in my fingertips and the top of my palm. And then last one, I'm hinging back, releasing the feet, curling my back, tucking the tailbone under, feeling more pressure in the base of my palms as my hips move backwards. Then I slowly find a neutral spine here with tabletop. All right, we're gonna keep on moving. So my right foot is gonna come step between my thumbs. I'm gonna lift my hands up. So now I'm just supported by that right foot and that left shin. Arms come up. We're going to do some repetitive movements and find a flow here. So I'm going to revolve, turn my spine towards the right. I'm going to drop my right hand behind me. Left arm stays ahead. Gaze can be back or forward, like you're turning to the side to hug a huge tree. And then bring those arms back up. So we're just going to find a little flow here as we revolve to the side. Bring it back up. We'll do this a handful of times. To the side and back up. So your lower body might not move very much, or you might find that you want to start to hinge forward and back. As you bring arms up, hinge forward. As you revolve, slightly moving back. We'll do about 3 more here. So I feel if I'm moving my lower body, I have less stability. So I feel my toes almost want to curl to help me get my balance. We'll do one more. Just notice how that changes it, or even where your gaze is, how that changes your balance. Bring those hands all the way back up, and then revolve one last time. Maybe I lied. And then drop your right hand to your opposite thigh, so your left thigh. That left arm reaches. So now we've got one hand down, one hand up. And then bring both hands in front of you. Plant them next to that right foot on the inside of that foot there. And we'll rest for a moment, maybe finding some forward and back movements, pressing into the hands. Option to come on like that knife edge of the right foot. That's going to open your hip more. So you find that back and forth, slightly circular movement. And then we slowly place that right foot down. Now back in tabletop, we're going to take that whole thing on the opposite side. So now that you know where we're going, see how this changes the experience for you. So left foot comes between your thumbs, all the way up. Your back toes might curl. Maybe that gives you more stability. And so both hands reach up, grounding down into that left foot and your right shin, and we flow from here. So drop that left arm back, right arm forward. Gaze might be forward. Try a different gaze than the other time. And reaching up, and we move back and forth. Revolve the spine. Arms come up, revolve it back. What do you want your lower body to do? Do you want it just to stay steady? Do you want to start hinging your lower body with your upper body? You could bring it forward and then revolve as it moves back. Hinge forward, arms up. Revolve as it moves back. We'll go again, arms up. Revolve, come back. Now drop that left hand, reaching over to the back of your right thigh. Right hand reaches up, grows super tall. Fingertips maybe even wiggling like they're trying to reach more towards the ceiling. And then slowly bring both hands back down, planting them on the inside of that left foot. And from here, we'll find some more forward and back movements. Maybe you go slower. For some reason on this side, I'm like, I gotta go slower. Gotta slow this down for the left side. Maybe you open your hip by coming onto the knife edge of that left foot. And just feel how that changes as you add more pressure to the outside edge of your foot rather than the bottom of your foot. It's not common, not often, that we're pressing into this side of our foot. All right, and then place that left foot back, finding tabletop. And let's go back to our rest posture, hip opening. Now, if you would rather just sit for this, feel free. If this is too much on your hips, that's all right. Otherwise, we've got big toes together, knees apart, head comes down, and feel free to choose what variation of your hands you want. Maybe you go through all three again. For me, I feel like I just need a few moments here to let my breathing slow down. And then I think I'm going to put my hands on the back of my head like we did before. I think that's where I want my grounding here. And start to notice your breath. You know, we didn't do anything super crazy. Yeah, we were moving, but it wasn't like a million crunches or planks or anything. But that still increased your heart rate, increased your respiration. Now we're coming back to this rest posture, having done all that movement, and we're allowing our body to sink back into that parasympathetic state, that restful state, right? It's all about finding that strong center. Can we go from rest and stillness to energy and movement, and rest and stillness and energy and movement? It's that back and forth where you train your brain, train your mind, train your body to find the middle, to live in that healthy tension. So maybe you have another word for your breath now. Maybe your breath is slowing down again. Maybe you feel more open. Maybe it feels the same, just slow and protected. Notice what your hands are feeling, if they're on the mat, if they're more in like a high five, if you're touching the back of your head, noticing like another part of your skull, what other bumps, what other crevices can you find in your skull? Then we'll slowly release our hands back to the mat. Be kind to yourself as you move to tabletop. And now we're going to take very similar, almost the same kind of sequence, but in a high lunge. So to get there, we're going to come into a hamstring stretch. So I'm going to curl my toes under, lift hips, lift knees. Take a moment to pedal this out, bending one knee at a time. As you press through your thumb and first finger, let your head hang heavy, hips come up high. And then as you're ready, take your right foot, step it up towards your thumbs, and we come up for that high lunge. So give yourself a moment to adjust. Arms come up. So you're up on the ball of that back foot, pressing into the front foot fully, arms up, and we're going to continue to revolve from here. So I move those arms back, right arm back, left arm forward, gaze might be back or forward, bring it all the way up. And we go back. Now here in high lunge, it's a little harder to vary the lower body. So if you want, focus more on that upper body, feeling hands come up, and then right hand drops back. Maybe you're moving your gaze as you do so. Maybe your gaze stays forward. One more time, we revolve back. And now again, we drop that right hand towards the left thigh, back of the left thigh, and reach up and over, almost wiggling those fingers as you're trying to grow taller through your fingertips. And then slowly bring both hands down to the mat and step back into your hamstring stretch. We'll stay here for a few seconds, just resetting. So your heels, of course, do not need to come down to the mat. Everyone has different levels of flexibility. Option to walk it out again, taking one foot at a time, one heel at a time, or maybe you come up onto both balls of the feet and then bring heels down. Kind of a different way to interact with this stretch here. Still letting gravity pull your head down, traction that upper spine. And then as you're ready, we'll go for the left side. Left foot plants almost between your thumbs. You're up on the ball of your back foot. Finding your balance here. Little bend in the back leg, that back knee. Arms come up. And as you're ready, we'll find that flow again. Revolve to the left. So left arm drops back. Right arm is forward. Bring it up. Maybe you bend that back leg more. Get into a deeper lunge. You know, we don't have to have, it's not about symmetry. When we're doing more like trauma-informed movement, it's not about everything being perfect and everything being symmetrical. It's like, hey, if I do it differently on this side, how do I think about that? How do I feel about that? You know, what changes for me? Can I notice a change? So it's more just how we interact with those changes. How much of a difference do we notice? We'll take this as the last one. Opening, and then drop that left hand over to the back of your right thigh. Right arm reaches, really pulling up. Maybe you roll out your wrist on this side. And then slowly drop both hands down to the mat. Step back with your left foot. And again, how do you want to interact with this posture? Maybe we just stay static here and focus on the breath. Focus on the change of the breath. Maybe we bring in some more movement as you lift those heels up and down. Maybe you walk it out, bending slightly, a little at a time, and then bending more deeply, one knee at a time. So just noticing those changes, how we can interact with a simple posture so differently. And then slowly lower those knees, coming back to tabletop, and we'll find that hip stretch one more time. So toes together, knees apart. Or if you want to go down onto your back, that's enough for your hips. Feel free to go to your back. But we'll end here where we started. Forehead to the mat. So again, option for hands to be planted, to be in like high five behind your head, holding onto your head. Or I want to give you a new option. Drag your hands along the mat, along the floor, really slowly, just feeling the texture of the floor, texture of the mat, until you can reach around for your heels. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to have to bring my knees in a little more narrow, and then I hold on to those heels. And this is an opportunity for self-grounding as you squeeze your heels and release. Maybe your fingertips press in to your feet there. Maybe you hug the sides of your feet or move up and down on the sides of your feet. Like, you can just give your feet some love. Always good. I always want to take advantage of any opportunity for self-grounding that I can, because it's just not something that we usually do in everyday life. So holding on to those heels, I just invite you to notice how different your breath is here. It's even more of that, like there's more protection around your belly, less space. So I just invite you to a deep breath, as once again, our respiration rate's coming down, our heart rate's coming down, finding stillness again. I'll give you a few moments here just for yourself. And as you're ready, start to release your heels if you were holding on to your feet. Bring your hands from wherever they were, planting them, pressing yourself up to a seat. I always like to kind of roll my shoulders out as I finish. I feel like I need to give myself a second just to reorient myself after being in such like a restful posture. My goodness, yeah, I'm teaching this, but I am in it with you, listening to my body, paying attention, building that awareness, breathing. So even for me to come out and immediately be like, okay, great. Even that takes me a second, and I'm sure it's taking you, a minute too. So be gentle to yourself as you unwind and come out of that last posture. You did amazing. I hope you feel really light and centered, and I hope I'll see you again. Have a great day, you guys.